Hello and welcome back to Middle Age Moto. I am out for a cruise. It is 62 degrees and it is absolutely beautiful out. Super enjoying it. Haven't been on the bike all week. Covered up at work, so it's great to be out. It's a glorious day. Today I wanted to do, you can probably see from the thumbnail, the proverbial, every YouTube moto blogger does it. The 5 things I love about the 2021 Ducati Streetfighter V4. This is in no particular order, and I may have a bonus thing. There's some things that surprised me too, so I'll throw that in there too. So this isn't going to be your list style necessarily video. But one of the biggest surprises that I had, and one of the things that I like the most about it, is the damn comfort. I couldn't believe it. In the United States, most dealers kind of frown upon you test driving stuff. You can, at my dealer, you can if you really ask, but I basically watched a ton of reviews, talked to a ton of people, sat on the bike just to see how it felt, but I had never ridden the bike, so I had no idea. When I pulled the trigger in this, I had never even heard it in real life run. I never started one up, but I knew that it was something I wanted, and as long as when I sat on it I felt good. But the comfort's amazing, the seat is amazing, the pegs being back a little bit further than dead center, my legs feel less cramped. The handlebar reach is a little bit more, but I've already gotten used to it, so it's really no weight on your wrists though. But the comfort is absolutely phenomenal. I'm afraid the miles I'm going to put on this, I have to get my my CRF 300L really fast, because I'm going to want to ride this thing just forever. Many of you know that I had a Monster 1200S, and I love that bike, but after about an hour, 45 minutes, 2 hours, my man parts and my ass started really started giving me some pain and fatigue. You knew you were on it. This seat is absolutely comfortable, so that's going to be the first item that I really love. The second, and I've not basically I'm still within my first 600 miles, so I'm not opening the bike up, but the engine, the power, it's absolutely unbelievable. I was kind of nervous in the beginning because the Monsters are known for their super low-end torque, and it pulls right from the bottom. And I was concerned because this bike, 14.5 grand redline, it was like, do I have to like wind the shit out of it to get anything out of it? And the answer is no. Let's back down. I'm going 52 miles an hour at 4,000 RPM, and I whap it, and of course if I downshift it, the thing's gonna accelerate. It does do better at higher RPMs, but there is no bogging whatsoever. This has enough torque and enough power. Now the optimum torque and power come in higher up in the rev range, but it's got 208 horsepower and over 90 foot-pounds of torque. I'm probably never going to tap half that, but that's going to be my second, the engine. And I've mentioned this in another video. It's kind of, as far as the engine is concerned, the engine being a V4 is really super, I shouldn't say super, but it's a lot more smooth, unbelievably smooth compared to my Monster. Now that's characteristics of Ducati, so it's kind of a love-hate thing, but it's kind of nice relief. I'm just kind of cruising around and enjoying a little bit of smoothness. So that falls into that engine category. Number 3 would have to be the gearbox. Absolutely unbelievable. It's absolutely like butter. You tap it, Occasionally I'll get a you know, I'll get a little bit of a glitch, you know, depending on, you know, meaning it'll either cut out or, you know, I haven't given it enough. But there's really, it's very easy to find the sweet spot. It's very consistent. It's smooth as butter, and the gearbox is just so far has been absolutely, and it's not even broken in yet. So usually Ducati gearboxes even get a little bit more smooth as they break in. Another thing is neutral. My Monster, I couldn't find neutral to save my life. In the beginning, before I put some miles on it, it was like nearly impossible, unless I was rolling or I shut the bike off. I mean, really frustrating as heck. And you know, even at 8,000 miles, it was still something that I just got accustomed to gliding up and putting it in neutral. This bike, I find neutral every single time. You know, occasionally, because it's got a, you know, I think it's, I read somewhere that it's, you know, the quick shifter may cause it to, you know, if you apply a little bit too much pressure, go into second, but all you do is just tap it back down and a little lighter and it goes right into neutral. Phenomenal. Putting it in neutral is fantastic. As you know, you've probably seen some of my videos. I go through a toll that gets me out here from Montgomery to the city of Wetumpka, and this is where it's more rural. There's you know, just less traffic. I've, you know, barely seen any cars on the road today. It's early and I'm not out terrorizing the neighborhood. This area I tend to drive you know, a little bit more mellow because I'm through here all the time and I ride around in here. But the gearbox, absolutely top notch. Super impressed. Number 4 was something that I actually complained about in the beginning, but now that I've gotten used to it and I think it's quieted down a tad, is the sound that this damn V4 makes. Oh my god, for stock exhaust, it's absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. It sounds like a car, like a stocker, especially the cold startup. And this is a stock Ducati exhaust. I've said this a couple times. I do not know how they got this past the restrictions. The 2021s are Euro 5, so you do have one additional sensor, and they've done some changes to the exhaust, and they've done some changes to where the torque comes on. I believe the torque comes on at full torque is at 9,000 RPMs now, so they lowered it by 2,000 RPM. But for an exhaust system that is Euro 5, you know, European 5 compliant, which is pretty darn strict, absolutely unbelievable. It sounds fantastic. And you know, I've always been an aftermarket exhaust guy, but ever since I got into the realm of Ducati, or, you know, I think a lot of the bikes nowadays are bad like that as far as costs. You know, I mentioned in another video, it's like $5,500 for the recommended exhaust from Ducati, the full exhaust, full titanium. That's just unbelievable. And, you know, they pretty much build the bike around the engine on these, so you got to like disassemble the whole half of the bike. I've seen pictures and videos. It's worth the look if you Google it real quick and just say, you know, exhaust replacement, and there'll be pictures of these bikes that are just, I mean, they're bare. The whole back is gone. It's pretty darn neat. But, you know, I don't have any plans on upgrading the exhaust. I think this is plenty. There are some slip-ons and some other stuff that you can get and kind of leave everything the same up to the headers. I think it's a little easier to install and all that, which is probably something I'm still not going to do because it sounds darn good to me. But in the beginning, it was just too loud. My Monster was so much quieter. And the exhaust on this comes right out below your pegs, so it's like mid-bike. With the Monster, it was way out back like a normal bike. The Monster muffler was definitely quieter, and the Monster was quieter. Now, when you got on it, it sounded good, but that's number 4, the sounds. Absolutely beast. Sounds totally like a beast. And number 5 kind of encompasses everything I just talked about. It's how damn versatile this bike is. You know, majority of the time I'm doing my videos, you know, I put up the times. Now I get on it sometimes, but the majority of the time I'm riding, being straight up, is riding like this. I'm just out cruising, enjoying myself. And this bike, you could cruise, you know, just kind of get out and cruise. You can get on it. The handling is absolutely unbelievable. But to be honest with you, so far the way the stock suspension is set up, it doesn't beat me to death. It doesn't feel squirrely when I take off. It's just a super versatile bike. And I had mentioned some surprises. The surprising thing is, you know, you see the stats on a bike, and I have never, you know, having never ridden a Panigale or this, or a Streetfighter, you think that it's just going to be brutal. You know, I remember my R1 days where the bike was just, it had a brutal hit of power, you know what I mean? And, you know, or even more, you know, my other Yamaha days, you know, the R1 was a little bit more civilized too, because of the cross plane crank and all that kind of stuff. It sounded phenomenal, but this isn't an R1 video, so but it's just so versatile. The bike is just, it's such a, that wears many hats. It's still a naked bike, so you know, I'm still not gonna, you know, go on a super long tour with the bike, but for my style of riding, finding some back roads and just getting out, enjoying the nature, cruising around, rocking and rolling, it's fantastic. I can cruise around. It's not real bucky at lower RPMs from what I can find. I do a lot more shifting. It's just geared very low, so I find myself shifting a lot more. Maybe it's because it is louder. I don't know, but no big deal. But the bike is absolutely the most versatile bike. It ticks a lot of the boxes. Now I'm still getting my CRF 300L. It's kind of just a, you know, I keep saying it's a hooligan bike. I'm far from the hooligan days, but like that dirt road right over there to the right, just be able to shoot down there and see what's going on down there, just to kind of mess around. And everything I've seen, you know, having a bike with less power, you're kind of cranking through the gears and you're really working the bike. This is blistering fast to where, I mean, your loss of license can be in 2.2 seconds. But the versatility is just, it's one of the key things. So if you're considering getting one of these and concerned that it's you know, it's something that you just need to use it on the track, because it's still, you know, in essence, it's a Panigale that is just loses the fairings and you're sitting upright. It's a lot more than that. You know, they've altered the gearing on it. Sprockets are different. It tries to get you more power, more torque and everything on your lower ends. So it's definitely designed, in my eyes, for what I'm just doing now, to get the potential out of it. The bike's a rocket ship, don't get me wrong. To get the potential, you know, track would be your optimum, because, you know, it's too dangerous on the streets, and of course it's highly illegal to really wind it out. So a lot of this power, you know, is going to go on tap for me, unfortunately. But I'm absolutely in love with the bike. It's been fantastic. So with that, I'm going to part. I will work on a video I'm still trying to decide on what they are, on the 5 things that I hate, which is kind of tough, but you know, I will try to come up with something as I ride. I really don't have anything glaring at me right now, which is kind of scary. And other than that, I will talk to you all soon, and thank you for spending some time with me.